I was attacked this past week. Emotionally attacked. What? No, that doesn't devalue it. Don't scoff. It's still a big deal. What, you don't think my emotions are important? Okay, fine. No, what if the boot was on the other foot and your foot was the other one and you were wearing my shoes? I would tell you to give them back. But let me explain my story and then maybe, yeah, you'll feel for me. I was, right, dancing in the rain this past week. No, it was very rainy this past week. If you live in California, NorCal to be exact, NorCal represent. Am I right, folks? But no, it was very rainy, uncharacteristically. But April, it's funny. I was talking to my mom the other day, and we were getting a lot of rain recently, and she was like, with April, is it supposed to rain? You never really know. I was like, with April, I feel like it either rains or it doesn't rain. And I was like, but you could say that about any month. That's just true about any. Every day, it either rains or it doesn't rain. That's not an interesting thing to say. But April is the variable month, right? That's what the groundhog does it for. No, I don't know. The groundhog is just about spring, right? He doesn't really control the weather. What if the groundhog was Poseidon? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever dug into his home? They should get Architectural Digest to do a home tour of the groundhog's home and see if he's like displaying or housing a trident somewhere. Because what if he's Poseidon? What if he's controlling the water? We don't know this to be certain. So we should get in there, check it out, do a little sniffing around. I'm getting away from the point. This is about me, right? This podcast, this is why I started, so I can talk about myself. So yes, let's talk about how I was emotionally abused this week. That's not an extreme thing to say. You'll see. You'll see. There was a bright. This is Friday. No, this is Thursday. See, it's just everything's blurry in my trauma. It was Thursday, and there was a bright flash outside of my window, and I was like, "What is that?" I tried to look. I'm like, "Is anything going on outside?" And nothing was going on. So I was like, that was weird. I wonder what that was. But it was a one off. I was like, oh, maybe it's someone's car. Maybe someone has a high beam flashlight and they turn it on for the first time and they go, oh, shit. Have you ever had one of those? I have a high beam flashlight. My dad gave it to me. And that fucking, I'll say it, asshole. He was like, no, go ahead, turn it on. He didn't tell me that it could blind someone. It's insane to give someone the sun. Who better to give it to? He gave his son a sun and was like, yeah, go for it. And then I almost fucking blinded myself. Turned that shit on. I was like, oh my God. Granted, I was staring straight into it, so you gotta wonder what was I thinking? Probably not much. In fact, when I turned the flashlight on, the light went out of my ears because it went into my eye holes, met no obstruction, and then just went to its natural course, which is outside of my ear holes. I even opened my mouth out of shock, and a beam of light came out like Ra, the sun god of Egypt. But I was attacked this week because I saw a bright flashing light, and I was like, oh, maybe it's a flashlight, a high beam flashlight. I was like, all right, well, that was weird, but it's a one-off thing. Then maybe like 6 minutes later, same flash of light. I'm like, what the hell was that? I'm like, all right, now someone's really playing a trick on me. And then not 20 seconds later, another flash of light. And I was like, what is going on out there? I tried to look outside, but my kitchen, it has this window. It doesn't really show much around the corner. I was like, that light, it feels like it's coming around the corner. So I was like, I can't see the source of it. I was like, what the hell was that? I was so curious, and curiosity got the best of me because I did something that I've never done. You see, I've had a Ring doorbell. Uh-oh. I've had a Ring doorbell for 4 years now. 4 years and some change or something like that. You can keep the change, especially in this economy. A bit of an angel, aren't I, for letting you keep 37 cents? I know. Huh. Just doing my part. But I couldn't see the source of this light, so I was like, all right, let me take to the Ring doorbell app, and I'll just make a general post. I see people do this all the time. They're like, my dog got out. Where's he at? My cat got out. Where's he at? My bird got out. You'll see him around. I don't know how to... If anyone finds him, what are you going to do, right? That's insane. That's like if you got a notification that a meteor is coming towards the Earth. Why do I need to know that? There's nothing I can do. If I see it, I'm going to be like, oh, yep, there it is in the sky. That's exactly what a lost bird is. A lost bird is just a meteor. Because it's a problem. I know it's a problem. But if I see it, what do you want me to do? There's nothing I can do. I just have to let it be. And then, yeah, maybe I'll get hurt. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But there's nothing for me to do in that situation. But I see people make posts like this all the time. So I was like, I'll make a post. How hard can it be, right? It's kind of like when you watch professional athletes on TV and you're like, I could do that. And then you go outside and you tear your Achilles. And you're like, oh, okay. So that's how they get paid millions and millions of dollars. Huh. Interesting. It's all make it, you know what? I pride myself on being an intelligent guy. I think I just put it together. I think I cracked the code. I think I should tell someone about this. And something I decided to tell some people about was this flashing light. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I took to the Ring doorbell app. I typed my little post and I kept it simple, you know? There's some class in keeping it simple. traditional values and such. Am I right, folks? But I typed on Ring Doorbell app and made a little post and I said, anyone see a flashing light? But I was like, that's not enough. No one's going to know what I'm talking about. So I was like, well, what's a signifying place, right? Like, what's a landmark that exists around me? I was like, there's nothing around me. There's no school. There's no monument, right? They got the Washington Monument. Where is that? Where do they put that? I don't know. I'll look it up after the recording. But, they have these important things. I'm like, there's nothing important around me. It's just like living places. So I was like, what is around here? I was like, wait a minute. Think about it, Garv. Sometimes you hear, ooh, off in the distance. What is that, boy? What do you hear? I hear a fire truck. Wee woo, wee woo. I don't know what it sounds like. I've never actually been outside. I just hear stories. So I imagine that's what it sounds like. But sometimes I hear a fire truck and I'm like, oh yeah, there is a fire station that's like not too far away. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's within the mile, I would suspect. So I was like, that's a good signifying place. Yeah, the fire station. Everyone knows the fire station. So I edited my post and I said, anyone see the bright flash of light by the fire station? And I hit send. And that was the end of it. I didn't think much of it. And then, on my window, starts getting a fucking barrage of rain, of water. It started raining. And then there started being thunder. And then there was lightning. I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. That came out of nowhere. It wasn't raining a second ago. There was no thunder. And then it clicked. Almost as quick as the lightning did. I was like, oh. That bright flash of light I saw earlier was lightning. There just wasn't, thing 2 and 3 of rain and thunder. The usual trio. It just feels weird when you don't see them, right? What's a big 3? I can't think of any cultural big 3s. So I immediately went to sports. Like when you see Kevin Garnett, you're like, where's Paul Pierce and Ray Allen? When you go to Miami, you're like, oh, well, there's LeBron and Dwayne Wade. Well, where's Chris Bosh? This isn't hitting, right? This demographic that watches this channel, you guys don't know what I'm talking about. What's a big 3 in culture, huh? Huey, Dewey, and Louie? Are those ducks? What is that? That's a Disney thing, right? No, Pixar. I don't know. Anywho, 2 of the big 3 were missing. I didn't think lightning by itself was lightning. I was like, oh, maybe someone's doing something, fixing their car, and they're like, yeah, doing a high beam flashlight. So I immediately went back to the Ring app and I noticed that there were 27 comments on my post and most of them were sincere. They're like, yeah, there's rain and lightning. But then some people are like, you can't be fucking serious. And what, people in California have never seen a rainy day before? I was like, oh my God. And I have to be a little vulnerable with you. I've had a bit of an emotionally tough past week. I haven't been in the greatest place in terms of stability when it comes to my emotions. So I'm a little sensey right now. And I was reading this and I was like, oh no, I feel like such an idiot. But I went ahead and I deleted the post because I was like, whatever. I got my answer. I don't need to let this post live. Unfortunately, over the next hour, I shit you not, I counted, there were 70 plus independent Ring posts mentioning the fire station. And I was the source of that. I'm the fucking guy that asked the first question. Anyone see a bright light near the fire station? And people took it and they fucking ran with it. You want an example? Here, I'll show you a screenshot of my fucking lock screen from the other day. People were here. Let me pull it up. Where is it? Here. I live by the fire station. I hear loud booms and there's water falling from the sky. Anyone know what it is? Bright white lights. Fireworks? Do we have a fire station? Live by the rain. Apparently there's a fire station. Anyone else knows flashing lights? I'm over by the fire station. Anyone else hear the fire station? I live by the thunder. Does anybody have a weather report specifically for and or around the fire station? Thanks. I hope lightning strikes the fire station. Now, an emotionally regulated Gauruv would see all these things and be like, oh, that's very funny. But I was, you have to understand, not in a great place. And so every time one of these hit my fucking notification center, it felt like I got shot through the chest. It was insane. I was like, oh, this feels awful. And the thing is, no one knows who I am. All these posts that you make on this app are anonymous. But because I kicked that off and led to a barrage of 70 plus posts where people are having fun. If you think about it, it's a nice thing. I still felt like such a jackass. I'm like, you idiot. You're the cause of all this because you don't know what fucking lightning is, which I was so, I couldn't take it well. I was like not emotionally in a place to not take it personally. And it was brutal. Even the next morning, people were like, woke up, gonna go stop by the fire station, see if it's okay. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God. It's not funny. Even someone started putting like derivatives on it and been like, hey, did you guys hear something about a police station? I'm like, that's not the joke. The joke is a fire station, jackass. Okay? You can't, don't be funny. Don't try to be funny if you're not fucking funny. Okay? And then I thought it was over. But then, of course, it was like, what is it? It was like PTSD manifested. It was like a tangible PTSD because 2 days later, another post pops up and someone's like, is the fire station okay? Because it started raining 2 days later. And I was like, shut the fuck up. And you could see this, right? And you'd be like, that's a nice thing, but you have no idea what kind of emotional stress I was under a few days ago. And this shit was funny as fuck, but it didn't feel even the slightest. I couldn't get an iota of enjoyment out of this. It was just misery. And it's so funny to think that all these people are having a blast with it. They're like, look, we're trapped inside. Oh, they're doing the fire station bit. And I wanted to die. Oh, I hated it. But you know, that's life. One man's trash is another man's come up. It's funny that I mentioned that because we're going to come back to that quote later. But also then a few days later, like I said, there was more lightning and thunder. And by golly, that was the most intense lightning and thunder I've ever experienced. I was in my kitchen. I was about to make a smash burger. By the way, so I've been trying to cook a lot more recently, and I made these smash burgers. If you follow me on Instagram, oh my God, you saw this on my story? Fuck, it is as good as it looks. So good. Oh my God. You have to try it sometime. I'll have to make you one. You know, you and I, when we hang out, right? I hang out with people. Isn't that true, right? Like this year, what? We're already in April. I'll hang out with like 4 people, right? I've got my one a month quota, but I was ripping up some parchment paper because I don't own one of those like stamp press things where you like smash a burger with. So you gotta do the old school method, right? You gotta do it old school, you know, the little goat skin moment where you take the parchment paper and you take a spatula and you press on it, and that's how you flatten out the meat. So I was ripping some parchment paper and there was a bright light lit up my whole kitchen. I was like, that was weird. And then I swear, I'm not exaggerating. I know maybe I'm not emotionally in a great place, but I'm not exaggerating when I say it sounded like a 50 caliber rifle went off. I played enough Modern Warfare 2. I played enough Modern Warfare 3. I played enough Modern Warfare 4. I played enough Modern Warfare 5. Oh, what are we doing? We're going back to Modern Warfare. I played enough Modern Warfare. Are we doing 2 again? Okay, I played enough Modern Warfare 2. I played enough Call of Duty. I've watched enough of those videos where the guy shoots through the same surface with different levels of weapons. I know what a 50 cal sounds like. That sounded like a 50 cal. And I literally dropped my parchment paper. I don't know what, right? I feel like I don't react to things like when people scream or there's a loud noise. I never really react. In that moment, I dropped a piece of parchment paper and I went, I am so fucking embarrassing. I have embarrassed myself so much this week, and I'm looking forward to moving past that. And you know what the funny part about this embarrassment is? It's contained. It's isolated. No one knows I'm embarrassed. The embarrassment hasn't left these 4 walls, and yet it's like eating me alive. And now I've broadcasted it to you guys, and so now it exists beyond this vacuum. And I've made it worse in a way. But no, it's like therapeutic to talk about it. So if you ever feel down, just know that a few notifications on a smartphone from my lovely neighbors and fucking one bout of lightning and thunder making me drop my parchment paper like a fucking, you know, one of those guys that used to work for kings, and he would bring the king, Sire, I have a scroll. Oh, and he trips on the steps trying to get up to the king, and the king's like, kill that guy. I don't like that. It's fine that he tripped and everything. I just don't like that he did it in front of me. Isn't that funny that like kings in the past, they would kill people for essentially giving them the ick? Like if the king was like, jester, dance for me, and the jester did some shit that was cringe, the king was like, I don't like that, kill them. Like now we just like swipe away for someone or ghost them or, you know, just don't talk to them ever again. But like in the past, the king was like, oh no, that, ew, yeah, gross. Yeah, oh no, kill him. I don't even like that could happen. Get rid of him. And so, yeah, this little dude with his parchment paper scroll, sire, oh, oh, ew, God, I wish I didn't watch that. Get him out of here. Come on. And then someone goes to pick him up, and then they also slip, because it is actually a slippery ground, and then the king's like, oh, great. This sucks. I need to hire someone to kill that guy, because that guy's supposed to kill people for me. But now ew, I don't even like looking at him in the eyes. Ew, it's humanizing him. I don't like it. No, you know what? Anyone. Chef? Does my chef here today? He's not in today? Okay, gonna have to kill him. What do you mean he takes days off? Well, I don't eat on certain days? How the fuck does that make sense? Why would a chef take a day off? Hey, idiot. Like, how does my chef not realize when he's home by himself and he's eating breakfast? The king needs breakfast, bozo. What the fuck are you doing? Anyways. I also imagine when that, like, Big Bang went off. Shout out Sheldon Cooper. I imagine when that Big Bang went off, I was like, imagine all the places that people could be. Like, I dropped a piece of parchment paper. Luckily, it was over a drawer, so I could still use it. I didn't drop on the ground. But I was like, what are all the places that people could be? And I was like, what if someone was on the toilet and they heard that? And imagine if, like, their shit just went, like a fucking potato launcher, just ejected out of them because they were so scared. And I was like, that's kind of like God's laxative. And I was like, what if someone was like, I'm sorry for being crass, but what if people were like fucking, banging, having a little, sweater weather, cozy moment in a home, and they were, having sex with their loved one? What if then they like couldn't, sorry, I'm getting too comfortable in this podcast. What if then they like couldn't finish because of the Big Bang? And I was like, oh, that's like God's contraception. And then I was like, what if someone was driving and they heard the loud bang and they swerved off? Oh, whip. Oh, okay. Hey, stop it. Nay. I get. In a series of unfortunate events of an embarrassing week it's been, I just keep one-upping myself, don't I? But imagine, someone was driving and then they heard the loud bang and they swerved off and they died. Well, that'd just be God at that point. So you got God's laxative, contraception, and, well, his touch. Or her touch. Am I right? Okay. This week I saw a table of like 9 teenage boys at a sandwich shop. That's so weird. Imagine just saying that to someone. I just did, but imagine saying that to someone in real life. You would quickly have to get to the next sentence so that they could not be weirded out. And yet here I am, sitting in this weird pause, not moving to the next step, and you're like, what the fuck is he going to say next? But no, I went to a sandwich place because I wanted a sandwich, and there was like absolutely no one in the store except a table of 9 teenage boys eating sandwiches. Imagine if they weren't. They were just there. They're like, well, gentlemen, we gather here again this week to discuss topics. Why are you at a sandwich spot? They're like, well, there's a lack of third places, and it's a real problem. I was like, oh, that's a very socially conscious take. Keep at it, boys. Maybe you will figure some stuff out. But I saw this table of 9 boys, and usually, there's the joke where it's like, you see teenage boys, and you're like, those are the worst people in the world because they're so judgmental, and, as you get older, that seems like just something you don't want to interact with. And yet I, was waiting for my meal because it wasn't ready yet. I did the mobile order. Oh, mobile order for what name? Gauruv. Okay. In English, though? No, that's, okay. That is the name. Okay. What did you say? Garbage? No, it's. I see something that starts with a G. What did you order? I ordered a pastrami sandwich. Oh yeah, the small pastrami. Yeah, I'll be out in a second. Why don't you just say that? Jesus. I did. Well, okay. But no, I was waiting, and I don't have good hearing, so I couldn't eavesdrop. But I could like feel the energy of the other table, and I was like, I'm not intimidated by any of them. Oh, good job, Gav. You're 27 years old. You're not intimidated by teenage boys. But no, you know what I'm talking about. Like I think John Mulaney has this bit where he's like walking down the side of a street and he'll cross the street if he sees teenage boys coming because he's like, that's not something I want to engage with. But I realized, I'm like, why don't I feel intimidated? I'm like, yeah, I can hear the cadence of their voice and they sound stupid, but I'm like, no, but why specifically do I not feel intimidated? And so I snuck a glance, you do the thing where you're like, oh, thank you for the sandwich. As you turn, kind of sneak a glance and then go on your way. And I realize none of them have facial hair. It's not even that none of them have facial hair. None of them are goddamn close to the destination. They, I don't even think, have started the journey. You know, they say it's about the journey, not the destination. Well, in terms of facial hair, you're trying to get to the destination pretty fast. It's all about destination, not the journey. The journey is peach fuzz. It's a weird smattering of facial hair, and you wonder, well, what's going on there? Someone not waxed properly? Why does that look like that? It's unruly. It's bad. It looks like someone should foreclose your jaw and your upper lip. Like, what is going on there? Someone, get the Property Brothers all over your face because they need some renovation. But I realized, yeah, none of them can grow facial hair. And I was like, oh, imagine being intimidated by someone that can't even grow facial hair. It's one thing to be clean shaven. It's another to not even be able to. And I was like, yeah, the fact that they can't grow facial hair, I don't think this is the only thing. But I was like, that's a big part of it. I couldn't take someone seriously if their body was just like, no, we don't put hair up there. I'd be like, okay. You can say anything to me. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't even think having facial hair is like a big deal. But for some reason, if you're not able to, well, oh, okay, Gauruv, do you not like people with alopecia? I didn't, okay, whoa, okay. Just, I didn't, you understand what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about boys here. You know, I'm not, well, you don't think any gender, okay, I'm getting in a weird territory. You know what I'm talking about, right? Anyways, yeah, I realize it's hard to take someone, do you feel that way too? Anytime if you feel intimidated by teenage boys, look at them. Look at their lips. Oh. What is this guy talking about? Yeah, the ring fucking situation really fucked me up. I can't talk anymore. But yeah, look at their fucking baby face and realize, what could they possibly say that matters to me? Oh, you don't like my jeans? I don't care. Your mom bought your jeans. You have to go to Target with your mother and then, you know, go to the changing room. I online shop, okay? I don't leave my house. I online shop. I buy 3 of different sizes. I buy the size smaller, the right size, and the size bigger because every company is different. That's something you'll learn as you grow older. And then you realize, oh, dude, when you return the stuff, there's a restocking fee. So actually you're fucking yourself in the fucking ass, and it's not worth it. You should just go to a place in person, but the choices in person aren't that great. So you're forced to shop online if you actually want something of quality, but then you're supporting fast fashion and it's this whole deal. So what do? I think you should just kill yourself. I think that's the only solution nowadays. If you want to be ethical and also smart, you should just die because there's no option these days. But no, that's why you thrift. Thrifting is like, what is it? It's the right in the center, right? It's not chaotic evil, chaotic good, neutral. It's just neutral good is what thrifting is. No, it's good. It's amazing. You know what's amazing? It worked today, actually. There was a coworker of mine, around 50 years old. He has 4 kids. Then there was another coworker, 50 years old, no kids. The no kids, 50-year-old, he was sharing something on the screen. And every Monday we do this thing where we go through a list of issues we have that are high in critical importance and we kind of report on them and we get help on them. Well, the 50-something-year-old with kids was telling the other 50-year-old, oh, could you go to slide 6, I think is my issue. Or no, I think it's 6 or 7. Sorry. I know what I did there. Sorry. You don't know what that is, do you? And the other 50-year-old responded. He was like, no, I do know what that is. And then I could not stop smiling. I think it's so nice. See, the thing is, 6'7" is the first adult meme I have. Does that make sense? It's the first meme where I completely was like late to it. And then I didn't fully understand it at first. And then I kind of got on it. And then by the time I was on the boat, it was gone. There was nothing beneath me. I was sinking in water. But it's kind of like how you feel nostalgic for like your first favorite movie or your favorite song or your favorite food of a genre because it's like your introduction to a thing. Well, 6'7" is my introduction to understanding memes as an adult that I'm late to. And so I hold it with a certain kind of reverence. I'm like, that's so special to me because that's my first adult meme. And so anytime it gets mentioned, I could, scoff and be like, that's so last year, old man. It ended in December at the latest. And now we're in what? April 13th? And we just got a 6'7" mention? wow. But I'm charmed. I am. I'm smitten by 6'7". What can I say? Because it is my first one. You always remember your first, don't you? And it is my first adult meme where I was like, no, this is hitting my desk late. And I'm kind of keeping it on my desk because it's nice. It's like when you see adults and they keep a really shitty drawing that their kid gave them on their desk, and you're like, what are you doing? You're lowering the real estate value because what the fuck is that eyesore? But they're like, no, my kid made it. They made it with these crayons and then they ate the crayons. And this is like a nice way to remember when I took them to the ER so that they could perform the Heimlich and then pump their stomach because you're not supposed to eat that much wax in one sitting. Apparently you can eat some wax. Like, those little cheese, the Baby Bell or whatever they're called, the red wax that covers that cheese. I remember there was this guy, Robbie Cepeda, in middle school. We convinced him. We were like, no, that's edible. You know how stuff comes with toys? This is like the toy. You can eat it, which is just faulty logic. Because if cereal comes with a toy, the toy is never to be eaten. But for him, he was like, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm going to eat the toy that the cheese came with. And he ate the wax. And then we were laughing. And he kind of spit it up. He was like, what? Is it not to be eaten? You guys are laughing. And we're like, yeah, that was a joke. We're, 12-year-old boys? That's funny to us. To make our friend eat wax. What the fuck? These are the people you're intimidated by? They can't even grow facial hair. Can you believe that? But I feel very, nostalgic. And I feel a closeness to 6'7". That's like the child's drawing. I'm like, I know it's shitty. I know it's old. I know it's out of place. But it's nice. It's cool. It's kind of like when people are like, oh yeah, the first time you eat a piece of pizza in New York, you're like, that's amazing. That's a New York slice. And you're like, that's a dollar slice. That tastes like shit. I remember I went to New York and I ate a dollar slice. I was like, this is amazing. I'm like, this is a 6 out of 10. By the end of my New York trip, I was like, that was a 2 out of 10. That tastes like shit. Are you kidding me? But because it's your first, you don't know any better. And this is why this is also funny because this is the argument that people give where they're like, no, you got to be in like 7 different relationships before you settle down because you got a taste test. I'm like, what the fuck? I get that. If you're going to Baskin Robbins, they got 31 flavors, but we're talking about people here. I think you know what you want, right? You've interacted with enough people. You don't have to like be in a relationship with them to be like, oh no, I know what I like in a human being. But no, it's kind of like when people are like, oh, I love rap music. Who's your favorite rapper? Oh, I love Macklemore. I'm like, uh-oh. Okay, so you're new to the game. Let's not maybe say that. God, that was a very specific example. Did that happen to you? I'll admit, it's been an embarrassing week anyways, I'll admit. I was in a public speaking class my freshman year of college, and for some reason, I gave a presentation on how rap is real music. And I remember there was a Q&A at the end, and someone was like, well, Gauruv, who's your favorite rapper? You didn't cover that. I was like, oh, okay. Wow. Put me on the spot there. You know what? I really like Macklemore. And I said it with complete sincerity. And I don't know. Now looking back, I would love to go back to that moment and read the look on everyone's faces in that moment because I wonder how they reacted. But it's because I was listening to Thrift Shop. And I was like, yeah, I think Macklemore's number one for me. And I don't know. I feel like 6'7" is the Macklemore of memes, and I hold it dear to my heart. Something else I hold dear to my heart is a song I've been listening to recently, which is called New Change by Sprada. I think it's Sprada. Give it a listen. It's nice. And I hope this episode was nice because I'm not doing so well. So I hope this was at least good enough for you. Whoa, not doing well. Name of the podcast mentioned, am I right? No, I'm doing well is the name of the podcast. This episode is the antithesis to what this podcast is. But thanks for listening. On YouTube, on Spotify, it means so much. Last week, got a lot of support, and I do appreciate that. It means a lot to me. So thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you next week. Okay?